Welcome back, everyone. Brennan Francois is the CEO of Dynamic Living Incorporated. For more than 35 years, he has motivated, challenged, and inspired audiences across the globe as a speaker and life coach. He is a madman who will empower you professionally and personally. Listen to this.
Oftentimes, we allow other people to dictate whether we're successful or not. We allow other people to tell us whether or not we've arrived or whether or not we've made it. You won't believe this story when I tell it to you, but it's absolutely true. When I was a little boy, my friends and even my family would tease me all the time. And you're not going to believe this, but I promise you it's true. They would tease me all the time and say to me, "You're ugly." I know you don't believe that, but it's absolutely true. And in my earlier years, I absolutely thought, because of what I was told, that I was ugly. But one day, and I can't tell you exactly when it happened, I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You're not that ugly." And then as time went by, I'd look and I said, "Well, you look pretty good." And then one day I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, "You're downright handsome." And I've been handsome ever since. What changed? Well, nothing about my face changed. What changed was the way I thought about myself and the way I looked at myself. What changed was my attitude about the power.
The very handsome Brennan also serves as Associate Director of Pastoral Care at Augusta University Health and Augusta University here in Augusta. And he's the author of a new empowerment book titled Hang in There.
Yes, indeed.
Brennan Francois, thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm honored to be with you, Jenny.
I met Brennan several months ago at a United Way event, and he brought the house down with his talk. And first of all, we need to explain why you are a madman.
MAD is an acronym, and I'll tell you how that started. I was flying from Houston, Texas to Dayton, Ohio. It was late, I was tired, I was ready to get home. The flight was full, but it was delayed. And as I sat there was a lady to the side staring at me. You know how you can feel somebody's eyes on you? Well, I felt her staring at me, and finally I couldn't take it anymore. And I said, "Man, why are you staring at me?" And she said, "You look like a madman." Well, I was about to get mad, but instead I asked her, "Well, what do you mean by that?" And she said, "You look like you make a difference." And I've been mad ever since. Brennan Francois is mad. Brennan Francois is making a difference.
I love that. That is so great. How did you get into being a life coach and being a speaker, an in-demand speaker?
In the early years of my career, I was invited to the Valley of Texas to speak at a graduation. I'd never spoken at a graduation before, so I really worked hard on my presentation. When it was over, the response was overwhelming. I was invited to 6 other places to do presentations from that one graduation. I went to each of those 6 places to speak, and I got more invitations, and between 1982 and 1986, the invitations just continued to roll in. And it was at that point we decided to formally organize and grow what we call today Dynamic Living. And through it, we're able to help people be better. I recall as a 6th grade student, my teacher giving an assignment to draw what we saw ourselves doing in the future.
Right.
While I couldn't give a name to my profession, it was clear to me that my job was going to be helping find people where they were, help them to be better, and some even be better than I would ever be. And so that's how I grew into the life coach and empowerment speaking profession.
Isn't that neat? You knew as a child that you were gifted in that way.
I didn't necessarily know I could speak, but I knew I was going to help people to be better, and that's always been a big part of who I am.
How did your upbringing lead you to this? What is your backstory?
Well, I used to say we grew up relatively poor, but there's nothing relative about being poor. We were just poor. But being poor didn't mean we were without. There was a lot of love in our home. I grew up in a home where my dad worked every day and provided well for our family. My mother was an excellent cook and a wonderful storyteller, and I think that's where I developed my art of telling stories, listening to the stories she told. She taught us to take pride in ourselves. We were Francois, which meant we were somebody special. And my parents expected us to honor our name. So when we went to school or in the neighborhood or anywhere in the community, we were to conduct ourselves appropriately. And so folk thought we had lots of money, when in reality, all we had was our name. And that helped me to identify with the fact that success is not necessarily contingent on how many things or how much of this world's goods you have, but how you feel about yourself and what gives meaning in your life. And we had lots of things that brought meaning to us and created an environment of happiness and joy.
I think you're so right. I feel like success is not about deposits I make in the bank, but it's how I feel about what I'm doing in the world.
Exactly.
You know? And when you feel like I'm living my life the way, on the path I should be, that is success. You know, when you feel like your work is your calling.
You're absolutely right. There's joy. Mahalia Jackson sang about it in a song when she says, if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I could cheer somebody with a word of song, if I can show some traveler that he's traveling wrong, then my living will not be in vain.
Love it.
And I'm grateful that Dynamic Living is helping me help others to experience a living that's not in vain.
Well, Brennan wants to help you too, and take a look now at his new book. It's called Hang in There. You can find the book easily on his website. It's BrennanIsMad.com. That's what the website looks like over there, and you'll find a lot of good videos. Briefly, Brennan, what is the book Hang in There about?
The book Hang in There is about persevering. In life, all of us go through difficult times, and the tendency when we go through hardships and trials and ordeals is often to give up. Well, the book is designed to help individuals recognize that no matter how hard it gets, how bad it looks, if you just hang in there, you're going to come through, you're going to go through, and you're going to come out on the other side.
You know what you're talking about, and he writes to a wide audience. All you have to do is look at your calendar on your website. In the last few weeks, you've spoken to a pastoral care group. You've spoken at a teen summit. You're getting ready to go speak at a men's retreat. You speak to people of all ages. And just as he was telling me in the commercial, he falls in that 18 to 80 age group.
I sure do. As a matter of fact, recently I spoke for an event for the Council on Aging, and helping individuals understand how they can encourage and lift up our sensational seniors. So I love speaking to the gamut, and I think dynamic living is for everybody. Right. I believe that folk ought to experience the abundance and the joy of life, and that's what we attempt to do. So age really doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Well, be sure to get your copy of the book. I look forward to reading mine. And thank you so much, Brennan Francois, for being here with us today.
Well, thank you for all you do for our community, and it's a joy being with you as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be right back.